All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Duck Potatoes World. And I am so excited to be hosting the Read and Crochet Along part 3 video on my channel this month. So, book fans and yarn lovers, don't miss us. We are here and we are going to have so much fun. So, I have my very
Mhm.
special friend, Kathleen Fuller, best-selling author and crocheter extraordinaire with me today.
Thank you very much for that. The extraordinaire is kind of missing lately, but thank you.
Ah,
All right. So I just wanted to give a big thank you to everybody who has joined us for the first two parts of the ARC-How and that you've been reading and crocheting along. And just a little reminder, feel free to post in the comments. We'd love to hear how your progress is going. Post on Instagram, your squares, and just kind of let us know, give what how you feel about the squares, the projects, and the books. And if you're new, we have a kickoff video that explains everything, but in a nutshell, this is Read and Crochet Along, and it's inspired by 60 of my novels. It features crochet granny square patterns that I've designed for each book, and it reflects the colors on each cover. The 6 granny square tutorials that go along with the 6 books will be posted every 8 weeks. One book will be chosen in advance to be the book club selection, and in each ARC-How episode or part, Katie and I will be discussing the book together. And again, feel free to join us in the comment section, especially for the book club pick, because we'll be answering 4 questions from the discussion questions in the back of the book, and then we would love to know your answers to the questions and your opinions about it.
yeah. All right. So, do I get to show my squares?
You get to show your squares. This is your
Okay.
time to shine, girl.
So, you guys haven't seen these yet because I only finished them at 2 o'clock this morning,
Oh,
but I got them done.
yay.
In my defense, we are filming this way early,
We
like
are.
6 weeks sooner than like we've only been 3 or 4 weeks since we filmed part 2.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I have
So
not
that's impressive.
quite got everything done. I did do all of the granny squares and I have read 3 of the 6 books, but I have not gotten through all of them. But I will by the time this video actually airs and you're actually watching it. I will have read all 6 books, hopefully. I think. But I do have all the squares. So the first squares
Okay,
I'm
let's
going to
see.
show you, and I have to apologize to Kathy because I did not mean to ever make you feel like you needed to change any square that you ever design. That is never my intention and never a thought in my head. Everybody has different preferences when it comes to art. And just because I might not have made the same choice you did doesn't invalidate your choice at all. So it actually kind of broke my heart that you felt like you had to redesign our first square, which was the Amish schoolroom. So your
Oh,
original
oh,
design,
I am so going to stop you on that.
I
You were
knit
right.
or crocheted.
No, you were right. I mean, it was like, I appreciate all those comments, but I tell you what, sometimes when you're wrong, and you just got to own it. And I was very wrong on that square. So I
I
was
don't
happy to
think so.
redesign one.
I don't think
No?
so. So
Really?
I
Okay.
crocheted the one you originally designed.
Uh-huh.
The only things that are different is I had to substitute a bright yellow for shocking yellow because I didn't have it. And
Mm-hmm.
I used Royal and I think I used Royal. I can't, and I think you used Delft. And I just
Yeah.
didn't. I have
Yeah.
Delft, but I'm kind of running low on Delft. So I just used a different
Mm-hmm.
blue. But actually, I like this square. And I don't think that you were wrong to choose some more. Whoop, I'm covering most of the colors because they're in the flower.
Mm-hmm.
Some more harder to find colors. I don't think that was a wrong choice. It was just a choice. And art is like that. Everybody can make a
This is
different
true.
choice.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I absolutely love your new design. So I did that
I
one
do
too.
too. I do too.
So I
I thought
actually
that,
wound up with 7 squares this time. So I did
yeah,
all of them.
yeah, bonus square. Yeah. No, I love that one too. I really did. And it was, I mean, and you know what? I love the pattern for for the initial one. I thought I really like that. And I'm probably going to do some stuff with that. But yeah, the second one I did is much. it's much more fall. It's a lot prettier. It's
I
definitely
like
your
them both.
colors. So yeah.
Definitely my color. So I did again, I
Mm-hmm.
made a couple of subs. I used saffron instead of gold because I just don't have gold. And
Mm-hmm.
I used this cafe latte instead of the spring green because
Mm-hmm.
I was doing this out in the wild and I went to get the
Mm-hmm.
spring green out of my bag and I didn't have it with me. But I had cafe latte, so I used that. And I actually wound up having to add an extra round, and I just used the
Mm-hmm.
cafe latte of single crochets just because this one came out kind of small for me.
Oh, did it? Okay.
And this one did too. I added an extra round in this, but now you can see that this extra round made it just a hair bigger, but
Mm-hmm.
not much, just a hair.
Yeah.
But these both, I needed an extra round to make them the same size as my other ones. I don't know if I
Mm-hmm.
was like stressing. Like this one I did at home, but this one I was out in public while I was working on it, so I don't know. But I love
Uh,
them both, and I think they're
mm-hmm.
both unique creative choices. And I think there's
Me
room
too.
in a 60 plus Granny Square project for you to make all kinds of creative choices. And I want to free you and encourage you. And if I have a weird look on my face, it's because I don't play poker for a reason, y'all. And just because something's not my favorite doesn't mean it's not good. You got it?
I Yes, ma'am. I got
Okay. Because there
but
might be somebody that
I
just
love
loves this,
this.
and it was fun
I
to make.
I do love this discussion because one of the big things about this project is choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
So her having to add an extra round of stitches to make the match, absolutely. Her choosing another color, me, doing two different squares for a book. It's all very open-ended, and that's what we want to encourage you to, tap into your inner creative. Of course, feel free
Yes.
to do it exactly like I did it too. That's fine as well.
Well,
But
and
yeah,
that's my
so.
second square, which is
Mhm.
exactly like
Oh,
yours.
okay.
All the
What'd you
colors
think
are what
about
you
that
use.
one?
The only thing that's different again is I don't have gold, so I had to use saffron. I enjoyed it. I like it. The only
Good,
thing I'm
good.
not wild about is this kind of double edge that
Mm-hmm.
happened here when we went and did that second round of where you knit through the or you crocheted. I'm sorry, y'all. I barely speak crochet, barely. You crocheted through the back loop only.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get any more height. I just get like a double. You see that in the camera? Like
Mm-hmm.
a double.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know what I think of
seeing
that. It makes the edge thicker than everything else.
it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks like you can't tell just looking at it straight on, but it was,
Right.
I wasn't sure what the purpose of that felt like a little bit like a waste of yarn because,
Oh, so it's not back loop, it's back post. Because it's a raised edge, right?
oh yeah, back post,
Yeah,
whatever I
I
did.
can't, I'm
You're
having a
right.
hard
It's
time
back
seeing it.
post.
Well, okay, so that's a good point. It does make it thicker, but one of the things that I do want to do with this project as well is for people to practice some stitches they may not normally use. And so back posts and front posts and things like that, because you can add texture. So
Right.
here's the thing, if
It's
you
definitely
if
some
you
texture there.
yeah. So
Feel
if
it.
you start like, again, choose your own adventure. If you start doing that and you don't like it, you can always just do in the back loop or just do a regular round.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
interesting. I was
honestly,
wondering,
if I had known what it was going to do, you're right though. It is back post, not back loop.
mm-hmm.
I probably would have just not done that round at all because I don't really need it. It doesn't add any.
No, it's decorative only. It
It
doesn't
just
add,
adds this
yeah.
thickness. But
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I did it and I learned something. So, and I actually really like this square, and I think it
Oh,
matches
good.
the book really nicely.
Well,
Sorry, this is a
thank you.
library book.
That's
I
okay.
own all of them,
I love
but
libraries.
some of them I don't own hard copies of. So if my library had one, I grabbed it
Oh,
to
thank
borrow
you.
for this.
Thank you.
All right. Then I did I'm gonna go through the Maple Falls ones backwards. So of
Okay.
course I
Mm-hmm.
did Two to Tango, which I don't have a hard copy of, which my library has a hard copy of, but for some reason I did not grab it. I don't know why. I thought about this one, but I didn't think to grab all of the Maple Falls ones I own on Audible actually. I actually bought the first Maple Falls one, Hooked on You. I bought that before I met you. So I bought them all on
Mhm.
Audible because I like to listen to them as I drive back and forth between here and Arkansas. Kind of gets me in an Arkansas mood.
Yes, because it's
I'm
set
gonna
in
see
Arkansas.
if I can find. I'm using my husband's tablet. I don't use it very often, but I was going to see if I could find his Audible app on here, and I'll show the cover from there. Maybe. Maybe I should have pulled this up before we started. Sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
I feel like we should play some Jeopardy music. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the app. And sorry, it looks a little different on his tablet than it does on my PC or on my phone. Like,
Oh, that's
where's the
interesting.
search button? Here we go. What did I say? That one. The last one of the four is two to tango, right?
Yes.
There we go. This is gonna work. It just take a second. Oh, well, apparently he's not actually logged into it. I own it, but it's
Oh,
not
okay.
letting me.
Okay.
He must not be. He doesn't use Audible nearly as much as I do. So mine is signed in on all my devices all the time. Let's see if I can get it to sign in.
You know what?
He's going to be like, what the heck did you do to my tablet? He'll be
I
like,
might have it on.
it's freaking out because I don't look like a big bearded man.
Ah,
I used my screen lock.
okay. So, see if I can.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we
How'd you
go.
get it?
Yeah, I
Okay,
got it signed in.
I've got it pulled up too on
Ugh,
Audible.
there. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yours is better. Okay.
Yeah, I use his tablet for that I speak to. So anyway, it's two to tango. I had to sub quite a bit on this one because I didn't have the pink in her dress. And I
Mm-hmm.
was going to just go and buy like just a skein of shocking pink. I could not find one anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I look, well, I mean, anywhere is like Michael's and
Mm-hmm.
Walmart and
Yeah.
Amazon. Michael's and Walmart and Amazon. They didn't have,
Oh, okay.
for some
I
reason.
I don't think we're going to have too many shocking pinks in the future. That's it. That's not a color that, the colors that are typically on my books are like the blues, the Delft. There's a
Right.
lot of Delft on there. So yeah. So what'd you do instead?
Whoops. I messed up our recording. That's what I did instead. Hold on.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. So let me see. I was looking up what I did instead, and I was going to try to do it all stealthy like, but I just disrupted the whole screen. So sorry
Oh,
about that.
no
I
problem.
am learning. But I did write down what I used instead. Let me get to it. I used pretty in pink instead of shocking pink. And of course, I
Hmm.
used, as always, saffron instead of gold.
Oh,
Everything else is what you used.
I like that.
So I thought it came out pretty good.
It came out
It's
good.
not the
Yeah.
exact pink of her dress, but it was the
No.
closest I could get to it
Yeah.
with
No,
what
that
I
looks
had.
good. Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's
that
two to
that
ten.
square that square was super challenging
I
to
bet.
write to do it, like, when I was crocheting it and playing around with it and stuff. I was like, oh, this is cool, I like this. But then to actually write it into a pattern, um not so cool. So that's what I'm learning. I'm learning some of the things I think are really cool once I do it, and then I start trying to write in a pattern. I do have a learning disability when it comes to, it's called dyscalculia. And so crochet has really improved that, but then it's also a challenge. So, but yeah, I'm impressed. You're very good. I mean, you haven't been crocheting that long, and here you are doing
No.
advanced techniques and things like that. So,
Well, it depends on how you want to count it. I mean, I learned to make a mile long chain when I was 8 years old. My great grandmother, her name was Bertie Webb. She sat me down with a hook and some yarn, and I could chain 6 ways from Sunday all day long. But I never got um, past a chain. So, and then it took me about 3 years to really get, well, maybe not that long, maybe 2 years. So I wasn't that focused on crochet. I have this bad habit, and y'all will have to forgive me. I know I do it and I try not to, but I look at something and go, I don't like that. Why would I want to do that? I did this to your square, right? I
hmm.
did this to cables. When I first started knitting, I looked at cables. I was like, why would I do that? I don't even like that. Love to
Hmm.
cable things all the time now. I did
Uh,
this with beads. I looked at beads on people's knitting and I'm like, why would you do that? I don't like that. I love to put beads on things now. Do it all the time. Like I just get my first impression is not always favorable, and I tend to just write stuff off.
Oh,
And I
okay.
try not
Okay.
to do that because most of the time I eat my words. Like if you had told me 6 years ago I would homeschool all my kids through high school, I would have told you were insane.
Yes, that's kind of the thing to do. If you want to eat your words or have to do something, you just say you'll never do it. And then
Yeah.
every time you end up doing it.
So I did the same thing with crochet. I was like, why would I want to do that? I can knit and I don't like crochet things and I don't want to crochet and da 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 da. And so I taught myself to do just enough crochet to get by with knitting. So I would tell people, well, I can crochet, like as a knitter needs to. Like I could put a slip stitch edge on something,
Hmm.
or I can do a provisional cast on with a crochet hook, or I can repair my knitting with a crochet hook. And for
Hmm.
years, that's all I could do. And then gosh darn, people make me eat my words. I would trip across something and think, oh, I love that. I'm going to make that. And it would be crochet. I would be like, oh, well, after like the fifth time that happened, I thought maybe I do like crochet things after all. So then I got frustrated because I would see these small things and I couldn't do them because I couldn't read a pattern. I couldn't follow instructions. I didn't know the difference between a single crochet and a double crochet and whatever.
Hmm.
So I started learning because I wanted to be able, I don't like to be limited. If I look at something and I want to do it, I want to be able to do it. I don't want to
Right.
have to
Yes.
be like have my hands tied. So
Hmm.
that got me learning to crochet. Anyway, I don't remember where I went off on this tangent for, but
No, 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 it's okay. So you did two to tango, and I was very complimentary. That's sold on love. That
there
is
you
cool.
go. I know
Did
this
you
is
like
not,
that?
I liked this square. Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did make a couple of subs in this one. I think
Hmm.
my pink is a different color and my blue is a different color.
Hmm.
I don't remember if it's because I didn't have it or if it was just because, let's see, I used pretty and pink instead of shocking pink because I don't have shocking pink. That's right.
Okay.
So,
Very nice.
no, you didn't use shock. Flamingo. I don't have
Flamingo.
flamingo.
I was gonna say, well, I almost called it coral, but that's not what they call it. But
Yeah,
it's a
it was
coral color.
flamingo. I
Yeah.
didn't have the flamingo. So I used
Okay.
the perfect pink. And then since I
Hmm.
subbed the perfect pink, I didn't like the way the Delft looked with the perfect pink. So I
Yeah.
subbed the Delft. I subbed out country blue. I actually had Delft, but it just didn't
Mm.
go as well. I like thought the
Yeah.
country blue went better. And
Looks
it
really
still
good.
looks enough like
Oh yeah.
I think like
You
the
have the flavor of the book cover,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
liked that square. I enjoyed doing it. I like that it's pretty solid. That was a fun one.
It's a very versatile square, and I actually have a project I'm going to show later on using that exact square. So,
Ooh, fun, fun.
mhm.
All right, then I did. You always like to know what my favorite ones are and my least favorite ones are. My favorite one
Mhm.
is probably your reworked Amish schoolroom. So even though I hate that you had to rework it, I love that you reworked it because that one wound up being my
Yeah,
favorite.
I
This
think that's a
one is
favorite.
probably my least favorite,
Okay.
and this is Much Ado About. Sorry, I have to look up each individual book here so I can show you. A latte.
Mm,
Audible doesn't want to show me books I own. It wants to show me books I haven't bought yet. So it keeps
that's
trying
right.
trying to show me other books. But here is the cover. Sorry about the reflection, y'all. And here is the square.
Very good. Looks really good.
And I
But
don't
you didn't care for it, huh?
know, it wasn't my favorite. My end is poking through right there.
Is
Um, it's just busy.
okay.
Like, in my opinion, again, my
Hmm.
opinion, it's not right
Yeah.
or wrong. Somebody else may think I'm crazy. It may be their favorite square. And if it is, it's that's not, I don't hate it. It's just of these seven, not my
Hmm.
favorite. I used, let's see, where is this one in my notes here? Oh, no substitutions at all. I used every color that you used.
Ah,
I
okay.
knew I
Good.
had one that I didn't sub anything.
Hmm.
Um, and I love the colors actually. Really,
Yeah.
I'm not wild about this pink, but I love the mint
Hmm.
and the cafe latte and the whatever blue this was.
I do too. I would have been happy with it just being those colors, but since I determined that it was going to be four colors
You
every
needed four.
square, yeah, sometimes that ends up biting me in the tushy because it's like, oh, and now I got to find a color that actually is in the book cover that will like go with it that I have. So it's been a challenge, but it's been a
Yeah.
good challenge.
But like I have a hard time
Nicely done.
telling which is the front and which is the back on this one, for example.
Hmm.
I'm not really sure. I held it up this way. Is this the front or the
Okay,
back?
that's the back. That's
Oh,
the
well,
back.
see, I
That's
think
the
I took
front.
all my pictures for my Ravelry project. I think I took all the
Hmm.
pictures showing the wrong side.
That's
I
okay.
think I
You know
retake
what?
the
But see,
picture.
that's the thing is that, you can do that. You can
But yeah, I mean, it's
reverse if it's
reversible because I can't
reversible.
tell.
Hmm.
Like I got
Right,
done with
right.
it and I was like, wait a minute. Because I
Yeah.
did it and then I tossed it aside and then I went back last night and was doing all the weaving in the ends. And I was
Hmm.
going, I don't know which way's which. But yeah, I can't. So that's one thing that is not my favorite is I'm confused about what's the front. I like to know this is the front.
Hmm.
And it's just I don't know. Like I said, it feels busy. We even though we're not changing colors any more often. Like if you look at the back, the color
Yeah.
changing is not that often. But because of how we're doing it in the front posts and back posts and all that,
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just not my favorite.
Okay.
But I'm still gonna use it. I still made it. I still like it.
There you go. Yeah.
But this one is my second favorite. And this one is the book we're going to talk about,
Hmm.
which I have to look up again. And I finished reading this book. I told you I did finish it. Finished it
Hmm.
about 2 o'clock this morning when I
Oh
finished
my
the
gosh.
squares. But I did finish
Oh
it.
wow.
Now, again, I actually have read all four of the Maple Falls books twice already, not counting with
Wow.
this make along, because oh, where did my book go? Um, it was the first books of yours I ever read. I was hanging out in Arkansas at the Hot Springs
Hmm.
Fiber Company, and Laura was telling me all about your books because they were asking me what I like to read. And I was at the time, I think
Hmm.
I was reading a like vampire witch knitting shop book. I
Oh,
can't
you know what? I
remember.
actually think I know that one. I haven't read it, but I know that one.
Um, right
Yeah.
now, the name of it's not coming to mind, but that's what I was reading
Hmm.
at the time. And so I was telling them, and they're like, oh, you would like this. So I went and got it on Audible and listened to it on my drive home from that trip in Arkansas. And they
Hmm.
were right. I loved it. So I saw it was a
Thank
set
you.
of four, and I immediately went and got all four of them on Audible and listened to them back to back to back. And then about a year ago, I realized my library did not have these books. Like I hadn't thought to check, just because I had bought them on Audible to listen while I drove. And I went to my library to get one, and they didn't have them. And I was like, well, that's not okay. So I requested all four, and so as the library purchased them, I reread them so that I could be
Oh,
the first person
thank
to read them
you.
from my library. So I read
Thank
them again,
you.
and I enjoyed them the second time, and then I'm reading them again this time. And this is my
Everyone
second
needs a
favorite.
friend. Everyone needs a friend like Katie,
Ah,
honestly. Thank you very much. So
well,
you really, so
I
you
try
like,
to support my friends, but I have to
well,
admit,
you are
sometimes
good.
some friends make it hard. You make it delightfully easy.
Oh, thank you. So you really like that one. I did
I
too.
do. I
I
didn't think
love
I
that
would,
square.
but
Yeah.
I really like the centerpiece. I
Mm-hmm.
almost wish we had done something different on the outside because the centerpiece was just so pretty by itself before you added the
Yeah.
other rounds. And I made lots of substitutions of this one
Okay.
because if you notice, all of my colors, they come from the yarn in the window
Yeah.
because
And
I thought you had a good idea about picking more hard to pinpoint colors. And I felt like it still
oh,
felt like the cover.
oh yeah. Absolutely. The nice thing about that cover, and I have my copy here
Oh, oh,
because we're
oh,
going to
I
be
lost
this.
you.
Oh,
Can't hear you.
hello? You still can't hear me?
Oop, it might have been my on my end. Ha. There.
Okay. All right.
I think I hit
Um,
the volume button is behind my back. Sorry.
no, that's no problem. So I have my copy here because we're going to be talking about this book. But that is this book is actually a pleasure to figure out what to do. We got the timer coming down, by the way.
Yep, I see it.
Um, because of all the yarn in the window and all the colors, and you're going to see in one of the squares for the next part, it was a challenge to find four colors. So that's beautiful. You did a fantastic job on
Well,
that.
I subbed a lot. I picked very similar to colors that you
Mm-hmm.
had, but they're slightly different. So my white is not soft white. It
Okay.
is called Aran.
Mm-hmm.
And I just liked the you picked the white from the words in the title, and I picked
Yeah.
the white more based off that, like I said, the yarn shelves in the window.
Oh, yeah, yeah, because it is a different white. Yep.
Yep. And then I didn't have pale plum, so that one I couldn't have used if I'd wanted, but I used light jasmine. That's my purple.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the pink I used was the same as yours because I liked that pink and it was in the yarn. And then I used this turca. It's not turquoise, it's just turca.
It's
Some
her,
of the names
yeah,
are weird, but I used that
they are.
instead of the jade at first
Mm-hmm.
because I was thinking I've used jade in like a lot of um, squares and I just wanted to do something a little different.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at the shelves and I thought, oh, that's in
Mm-hmm.
the yarn. But I
Yep.
tell you what, we're going to take a really short commercial break while I switch out our recording. And we'll come back to you guys in just a hot second with some discussion questions.
Yep.
Oh, there.
Okay.
We're back. Sorry that took me so long to show off my squares. I talked a lot.
Oh, no, 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 that was great. That was great. Um, like I said, I love that idea of doing different hooked on you squares using different combos of the yarn. It would be endless. So you can make all kinds of stuff out of that. So before we move on to the hooked on you questions, I do want to show the project that I made with the Sold on Love square, and that is a backpack that has been
Cute.
actually tested out. I took it to an eye doctor appointment. The only thing is that like if you have like you like I took yarn and hooks and pencils and notebook and all that. You always want to make sure unless you line the bag to put them in a case or something or else you'll just have everything poking out. But yeah, this pattern is from Yarn Inspirations and I used the enchanted um blanket of knowledge yarn that I had left over. And also in for these squares here, um, on my website, there's a pattern for Sold on Love that actually had a yarn colorway that's it's discontinued. So I had some leftover of that, so I did that. But it's really cool, and I
Oh,
think I'm gonna
from
make
Arkansas Yarn Co.
Yes, yes. So I think I'm going to make several of these. It didn't take too long. You just make I can't remember how many squares, but you make the squares and then you make 4 squares and then you just fold it up and then you stitch it up and do a drawstring. And like I said, this is actually, because I asked friends and family, does this look too small of a backpack for me? And it doesn't, and I'm a large girl. So yeah, it's really cute. And the Sold on Love square is perfect for it just because let me get this out of the way, just because it is a square that, is pretty tight. There's not a whole lot of laciness to it or anything like that. So
But
I've gotten compliment. Hmm?
you could use a bunch of different ones though. You could
You
like I mean
could.
this one's pretty tight. You could do
Yeah,
this
you
one's
could
pretty
do
tight.
that.
Maybe not this
Yeah.
one. Let me flip through. This one's pretty tight. You could do a different like, instead of the same square over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
pick some of the different snugger ones and make the
Yeah.
backpack out of ones you've already made.
Right. And you could do whatever color schemes you want or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to this pattern. Of course, Yarn
Oh,
Inspirations, they
good.
want you to use the red heart yarn, but if you are making these, the squares out of the red heart yarn, that's perfect. So
That's
anyway,
awesome. That's a great idea. I haven't
yeah,
made
it was
anything.
fun too. I really enjoyed making this.
Right now, I'm just enjoying. Here's the first six. Right now, I'm just enjoying owning 13 granny squares. I will do
Awesome.
something with them. Knowing me, I will very likely, depending on if we actually reach our goal and do all 60 books, I might
Hmm.
wait till I have all of them before I decide to make anything out of them
Hmm.
because I like to have all of my available options before me so
Right.
I can play with colors and patterns and I might make more. I mean, I'll obviously make probably more than one thing.
Hmm.
And so then I can look at the different ones and decide, well, this is snug and so it'll be a good backpack and this is looser so it'll be a good blanket or whatever.
Right. Right.
So I haven't made anything yet. I just keeping them in my oh, you can't see it. Lindale
in your
candy bag
candy
here.
bag. Yes, the best
They don't
bag.
pay me to advertise them, but if you're local, go support our local small businesses, which is
Yes,
totally in keeping with the Maple Falls books of
it
supporting
is.
your local small business.
It is because this has to do with a yarn shop, which is a small business. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and go into the questions then. And I have the first question for Katie. But if you have if you're watching this video and you have a copy of Hooked on You, you can just go back to the back of the book and the discussion questions are there if you'd like to follow along. Okay, question number 1. Riley moved away from Maple Falls to become an artist and escape a painful past, only to find success in healing when she returned home. Do you think it was necessary for her to leave Maple Falls, and Irma? Why or why not?
In Riley's case, I think it was definitely necessary
Hmm.
because she is so unsure of herself and so guarded. I don't think that she could have grown like she needed to if she had stayed home. Like
Right.
for to me, her going to New York was a big leap of faith. Like she's trying so hard not to repeat the mistakes of her mother's past and trying so hard to make something of herself, even though I think she's trying to make the wrong thing of herself at
Right.
first.
Hmm.
But I don't think she could be who she was, and I don't think she could live in a small town and thrive if she hadn't tried. Like she needed to do some growing in New York, I think.
Yes, and she picked an environment that was the least similar to where she grew up, and she followed her dream too. Part of it was escapism, but other part of it was like, this is what I like, this is what I want to do. I'm an artist. So let's just pursue that. And I think sometimes we have to do that as well because we have to be, I don't, we always are going to have regrets in life, but try not to leave any on the table if you can. Even if it's scary, you don't have to go to New York. You can, do something risky and scary, on a smaller scale in your own town.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
Well, and I think like I did a lot of theater in high school.
Oh,
That was a
okay.
thing I was very into. I was mostly in the bossing people around side of things, not as much
No,
in the in front of the camera side of things.
I'm shocked. I'm totally shocked.
Although I did my fair amount of that too, but mostly in the running things kind of in. But I know so many people who they define success in theater as I have a commercial that goes nationwide.
Hmm.
I am on a sitcom. I am on Broadway. I went to Juilliard. Like they have because the very successful people in that field are very famous. Like there's this wide breadth of what I would consider successful. Like
Hmm.
just because you don't have a commercial that goes nationwide or get a sitcom or a soap opera or a Broadway play doesn't mean you weren't successful. And I think Riley learns that. Just because she
Yeah.
didn't make it in New York selling her art in a huge gallery didn't diminish the value or the quality of her art when she started using it to um, support knots and tangles and used it to bring people into her small town. Like she said, she had offers for that mixed media piece that she did.
Hmm.
Like she blossomed in better in Maple Falls, and she was still, and her success and her art was still there. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
oh,
not
yeah,
sure
it
I'm
makes
saying what
perfect
I'm trying
sense.
to say very well, but
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And I think a little bit more to that, and then we move on to the next question is, um, you know, your definition of success as you go through life changes as
yes,
well. And
absolutely.
when you become a little more content with maybe not being as famous, or you find out that fame, fortune, or whatever it is that you're pursuing isn't what you really want or need, but at the time you did, and you can only learn that if you pursue it. So I think that that's part of it too. It's yeah, yeah, it's a good answer, very good answer.
Okay, and then I get to ask you this question. I almost forgot. That's my job. Okay, number two. Riley and Hayden both had secret crushes on each other in high school. Have you, Kathy, ever had a secret crush?
You know what? why I chose this question. I'm a glutton for punishment because
Right? You picked me.
yeah, we're gonna talk about so to protect the innocent, I've had two secret crushes, and one of them did not work out, and the other one worked out for a very short period of time. And I will not say who they are or the time period just because I want to protect the innocent. I wouldn't want people talking about me on
On the
camera.
internet.
Yeah, but yeah, and I think my very first crush was a very intense one. Um and it just was not reciprocated at period at all. And then the second one was kind of a surprise because when I stopped crushing on him was when he started showing interest. But we weren't suited for each other. So obviously, and then my husband, I'm just gonna throw him in here since I'm talking about love and we really need to have him here. He was love at first sight for me. The crush was like, okay, instantaneous, and it took him a little longer, but that's our personalities. Like I'm very, much in the moment and jump with both feet in, and he's very much measured. He's got to think about things and stuff. But yeah, so I've had two of them. And then my third one and my permanent one, my husband.
I don't think that I have secrets anythings.
Yeah.
I think Finnick Odair in the Hunger Games asks Katniss if she has any secrets, and she says, "I think
Mhm.
everybody else knows my secrets before I know I have them." I think I'm kind of like
Oh.
that. I don't think I have secrets. If a thing comes into my head, it pretty much pops, if not out my mouth, at least onto my face.
Mm.
So if I crushed on someone, they probably knew.
Ah. They knew before you knew, right?
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I asked my husband out on our first date. So
I asked my husband out on our first date too. He
wasn't good
said
on
I
it.
beat him to it, but here's the thing that of course I did because hello, I jump in with both feet first and he's got to think about it. So it was kind of funny because I asked him out and he said, well, I was going to ask you out anyway. So, but yeah, but so here, ladies, don't be afraid to ask out your
You should have been like,
guys
well, fine, then
because,
never mind.
yeah, really.
Start asking.
Yep. Okay, so third question is, oh, it's mine. See, now I'm off track. Okay, sorry. The bosom buddies, which for those
Okay,
of you,
can we just stop for just a second and throw
yeah.
a surprise question in there?
Oh, sure, yeah, go ahead.
Where did you come up with bosom buddies? Is that an Anne of Green Gables reference?
No, I've never read Anne of Green Gables. I
Okay,
know,
assignment. You
I'm the
have
last
got to
person on the
go read Anne of
planet.
Green Gables.
I do. You know what? I need to go back and read a bunch of stuff. Um,
How do you
definitely.
how do you get to be an author and not read Anne of Green Gables of all things? She calls her best friend
I
her bosom
really,
friend. That's so whenever
oh,
I read this book,
really?
that was my first thought. I was like, oh, it's an Anne of Green Gables reference. They're all bosom buddies. Because Anne
No.
wants a bosom friend more than she wants anything. She's an orphan and she's never had any
Oh,
friends. Okay, so
oh.
then where did it come from if it didn't come from there?
Um, okay, so the first thought that came to my mind was just trying to find something that had some alliteration to it. And the second one was something that older ladies would actually have. I mean, a name, and it
Oh
didn't
gosh,
need
I
to be
thought you meant a
something.
bosom.
No, no, that well, that too.
I'm
That
like, yeah,
too, but
older ladies
we
tend to
don't
have a
compare
bosom.
bosoms into bosom buddies. No, a name that
Sorry.
they would have that wouldn't be silly or, be something that could last throughout it. Girl, now you got me all bleh. Okay, anyway.
Sorry.
So, and then, but the thing that came to my mind, believe it or not, which has nothing to do with the story or old ladies, is um that show Bosom Buddies, I think is what it was called. Tom Hanks was in it. I think it was his first sitcom, and I mean, this might be before your time.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't know
when I
this.
was a teen. Yeah. So it to me, it just seemed to really fit. And then for those of you who haven't read the series, one of the challenges is that we've got two sets of friends. We've got a group of older women, and then we've got the younger women, and the younger women obviously are the focus of the books. But trying to find a name for them, the reason why it's so hard for them to figure it out is because it was so hard for me to figure it out. I just could not land on anything. So, but bosom buddies, yeah. So that's the complicated, highfalutin reason right there. It was just basically.
Okay.
Three
All
little
right, sorry. Now
things.
you could ask me
No,
my
it's a really
actual
interesting,
allotted
no one's asked
question.
me that
Nobody
before. And
emailed any Ask the Author questions to me. So there's our Ask
yeah,
the Author question coming
okay,
from me.
there we go. There we go. All right. The bosom buddies and Harper, Anita, and Olivia are true friends to Irma and Riley. Now, Irma is in the bosom buddy groups, and Riley is becoming a part of this younger friend group. Do you have a friend group? I'm sorry, do you have a friend or a group of friends that are your bosom buddies?
I do, and I am so blessed to have them. And I didn't always. When my husband and I first moved to East Texas, we came from California. I was in the Navy. We didn't know anybody here. We didn't have any family here. And we made friends at our church, and then we lived in South Tyler. And then when we moved up to Lindale, we did the same thing again. I didn't know anybody, and I had a hard time. I love East Texas, but stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah,
And the good old boy system and the we're friends because we've known each other forever and we've always been friends sort of click. I don't want to say click. It's not like high school cliques like we're the jocks and you're the geeks and you're the cheerleaders. It wasn't like that, but it was just these groups of people had known each other since their great grandparents were in diapers.
right,
And it was hard at first. And I actually had to pray. I had to say a prayer. I was like, Lord, I need a friend. I need some female friends. I have my husband. I love my husband in many ways. He's my best friend, but he's not my girlfriend. And it's
right.
not the same. And God was very gracious and he blessed me with friends. And I have several friends that are my close friends. And I have a group of friends that my in life, my real life knitting groups. I actually have three in life knitting groups nowadays, but I have one of them
Oh,
that's just
nice.
made up of really close sisters of in Christ. They're all members of our church. Women that we sit and we knit and we chat and we eat, but we also pray together and talk about our kids together and cry together. And we can call each other, if you need a meal or a ride or I don't know anything.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, that's my in life knitting group, and they're called SSK because we're the super secret knitters because you never know when we're going to meet again. Because every month it's like everyone's looking at their calendar trying to figure out when can the most of us get together.
Oh, I can
So
relate to
it's
that.
not
Yep.
like the third Thursday of every month. It's like different every month. So we have
Right.
the super secret knitters SSK. And
That's
shout out,
cool.
ladies, I love you all.
And hello, ladies. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, if you ever visit, we will so invite you.
Oh, yes. And I plan to visit. Trust me, I'm going to invade East Texas at some point.
Please.
It's on the radar. I have a group of friends that I call my inner circle, and I have a couple of them that have always stayed there throughout, like, decades. And then, as we all know through life, people cycle in and out. You're friends for a reason and for a season sometimes. And then I'm coming to a point in my life where my inner circle now consists of my daughters and my daughter-in-law because I'm friends with them now, and it's very cool. My mom was my best friend. And so, I'm so glad that I have that relationship with my daughters. And it's like, it's not, I mean, I'm their mother and I can't help but be the mom, but I'm, I'm also at the point of life where I can be their friend. When you're raising them, do not be your kid's friend when you're raising
Right.
them.
They
That's
don't
a,
need a
that's a
friend, they need
bad
a
deal.
parent.
Right. But when you get older, if you can be friends with your kids, if that, and here's the other thing too, what helps is that all have personalities that mesh together. Sometimes your personalities just don't mesh, and that's okay. You can love your family members even if you're not meshing with them on a personal level, like a best friend or something like that. But yeah, so I've been very blessed in my life to have a lot of friends, and then I have my close inner circle that I trust, and then I have other, like, different pockets of friends. But I never have had a friend group that we've had a name, so that's cool that you
Oh
guys
yeah, we
have
have we
that.
have a name like in your
Yeah,
books.
and the bosom buddies, the bosom knitter buddies.
Yeah, we're the SSKs.
That's
And we
okay.
don't
That's very
and we
cool.
don't even all knit. Like when we started it, we all knit. But
Hmm.
we grow, and we change. We have one woman who's just started coming who paints in watercolor.
Oh, very nice.
I have one woman who embroiders. She embroiders things on her shoes and her daughter's shoes, like her kids.
Oh, wow, very
It's really
cool.
cute. And then occasionally I shock everyone in crochet. Yeah.
Oh,
So
if they
we're
ever
we're
want to
branching out.
crochet,
We're
this
kind
is
of
a
like
yeah.
more like we get together and craft, but we started off
Hmm.
as knitters.
That's
So,
very
and
cool.
I know I love my mother and my grandmother. In fact, the three of us are going to go to DFW Fiber Festival. This is how early we're filming this. You guys aren't going to see this till October, and we are going to the DFW Fiber Festival next weekend, which is September 19th and 20th. I think today's like what, September 13th.
Yeah,
So we're way early.
we
But
are
yeah,
way early.
I'm
Yes, but
super
that's
excited to spend the weekend with my mother and my grandmother, who are two
yeah.
of my best
You and your
friends.
mom are so cute. And I remember the first video I saw of you guys was fairly shortly after my mom passed away, and I was just like, I had mixed emotions about it. I just loved watching you guys, but it really made me miss my mom. And then when you guys did your Christmas stuff last year, I think it was last year I watched it. Um, it was just, I mean, it's just great to see that
We did our
relationship.
in our matching
Yeah.
pajamas.
Yes, it's just
That was fun.
wonderful. And yeah, and I'm glad that you've got that relationship with her too. That's really, really special.
Me too. My mom is
Yeah.
great. I miss being able to film more of Created to Create with her because she moved back to the Austin area. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we try to get together, but she's a nurse, so she works, it's
Yeah.
not like a regular, repeatable schedule. She's
Mm-hmm.
flexible, but she also has to be flexible in advance, if that makes sense.
Oh
People
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
understand this about nurses. Like we have our
Mhm.
schedule set often 6 to 12 weeks in advance.
Right.
So we're flexible in that a lot of times we can work around certain days off, but we have to know
Mm-hmm.
that flexibility 12 weeks in advance.
Yeah. And that makes
So
it hard to plan for sure. I
sometimes
mean,
it
in a way it's
does.
kind of easy, but other times, when things
Yeah.
pop up, it makes it hard to do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
All right.
so
Last
your
question.
question, last question. Yeah.
Tracy caused Irma and Riley a lot of pain. What advice would you give them if Tracy were to return to Maple Falls in the future?
Okay, I thought about this one, even though I wrote the story and I wrote the question, it was still, it's kind of interesting because I think there's sometimes some readers, and it's not just, I'm not just saying readers that read my books, but like overall, they think that I write characters or a writer writes a character that does things the way they would do it, especially if it's a female writer and a female character and that kind of thing. And in my case, that's not true. So my characters often do things that I'm like, you're dumb. Why are you doing that? The marriage pact is one of those that we talked about last time. Um, what I would say is that they have to have these really firm boundaries with Tracy, and they can't walk away from they have to put those up. And I think that they both are at that point. And I left it open-ended because I didn't know how this story would go. I didn't know how many Maple Falls books I would have, and I wanted to like keep the door open for Tracy coming back. It would be great if she came back and she had changed and she was really willing to work things out. But I do think that if not super super strong boundaries, you can love people from afar, and actually putting boundaries up for people who are
It's
toxic need.
loving.
Yeah, it is a loving thing because if they know, and a lot of times it's like she had substance abuse issues, and you're not in your right mind, and I have sympathy for her. I do, but on the flip side of that, you also have to be willing to change
Yeah.
and mend and repair. And at the end of this, well, spoiler alert, at the end of this book, she did not do that. So anyway, that's kind of a long-winded answer, but
Do you find your characters take on like a life of their own? Do they ever do things that you were like, oh, I
yes.
didn't know you were going to do that?
Yeah, you know what? It's actually, they do that. They totally do that. But it is more of, if I'm trying to fit a character's actions and motivations into a plot point that I came up with, um, a lot of time, not a lot of times, but majority of the time, they don't do it. If a
Yeah.
character if it's so far into development that it's weird, and I probably sound crazy, but it's true. If a character gets so far into their development because of human nature and because of what the circumstances of the storyline that they're in, sometimes the things that they do, they have to do. And as a writer, I may not want to go there just because it might be hard to write. So it's hard for me to write really deep conflict. Um, if I write really deep conflict, I end up going too far. My editor has to pull me back and say, look, nobody's going to want to read this. It's too harsh.
Mm.
Sometimes it's too real. So, yeah, they often take a life of their own. And actually, that's a good thing. If a character can take a life of its own, then that means it's not a flat character. So, and I always think it's fun because it's frustrating a little bit if I'm trying to squeeze them into that plot peg and they're not wanting to go in.
Yeah.
But then they do something, and then you're just like, okay, I'm along for the ride, and then it ends up just being a whole fun experience and everything. But yeah.
It's interesting to me that your editors would tell you that you could get too heavy or too real because I read a lot of different things and I definitely read some writers who write really real and heavy stuff. Is this like a genre thing that they're
It's a
trying to
genre
keep
thing,
you?
yes. Yes,
Okay,
because and it's an audience thing too, and it's a brand thing because
gotcha.
if you are reading an author that tends like me, I write sweet, I write,
Yeah,
things that I'm always,
light,
trying
relatively light reads. I can usually,
I'll put, serious things like, we've got a mother that has substance abuse issues and abandonment stuff. I'll put that in there, but it's framed in more of like a Hallmark type thing. But if you turn on a
yeah,
Hallmark movie and all of a sudden they're like, running for their lives because,
yeah, that's a
some
good
kind of
point.
crazy hatchet person's after them, it's a
Right.
disconnect.
Yeah,
So people
that
have
makes
that
sense.
expectation. You don't want to walk into McDonald's and get a pizza because you want a hamburger if you're going to get that.
That makes
So
sense.
while I'm not, so what I mean is that like if I'm writing something that goes too dark or too, serious or whatever,
Yeah.
it's going to alienate my audience. And my editor knows to pull me back. But it's also good as a writer to take those chances and just kind of go there before the book is finished. And then, it's like, yeah, Kathy, that's not fitting in. So
That makes sense.
yeah,
Sorry,
a
I
good
had lots of
question.
Ask the Oscar questions that I
Ah, and I
wrote.
love to answer them. So thank you for doing that.
If you would
So,
like to ask the author a question, email your question to the email in the description box down below because I'm not the only person, surely, that has questions for best-selling author Kathleen Fuller over there, wherever you're at. So email them to us. We'll get her to answer them. I'll spring them on her just like this.
that's
I,
right.
I didn't give her any warning because I don't think of them until we're sitting here talking. And then I'm like, oh, I had a question
Mhm.
for you.
Well, and I don't mind that because it's like we're having, I like that kind of spontaneous stuff because it's like, oh, we're having coffee. I mean, we're filming something, but it's like
Well,
having
I don't drink
coffee.
coffee, but
Well, tea. I
I have
drink
my
coffee. So.
water in my yarn hoarding cup here.
Ooh, ooh, I love that. I probably should take a picture of my table behind me because it's so full of yarn. But okay, so Katie, if you want to talk a little bit about the logistics for the archive,
Yes, yes, yes. So if
that'd
you
be
want
great.
to email the author a question, you can. And if you want to join us, you can. There's no problem if this is your first time to trip across our crazy train. It's all right. You can hop right in right where you're at. If you want to go back and do some stuff that's already been done, great. If you want to do just the crochet or just the reading or just some of the crochet or just some of the reading or nothing at all and
Hmm.
just watch us chat, all of that's okay. This RCAL is choose your own adventure. There's no rules and regulations. Just come and join us and have fun and comment in the section so we know you guys are there.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so we're going to move on to the squares for part 3.
This is
Part,
part 3. For part 4.
is it part 4?
Yeah,
Have we? Oh,
this is our
this is
third
part
video.
3.
This is part 3.
Okay.
You think we can do it in 10 minutes? We got 10 minutes before
We
the.
can do it in 10 minutes. Okay, yes, we can. See, numbers, people, I'm not kidding you. I have problems. All right.
We have a
I'm a
goal.
writer and not a tax accountant. Okay, first one is for Behind Enemy Bylines. Hello, this book's not even out yet. She's got a copy of it
I got
though,
a copy
because she's
though.
one of my influencers. So anyway, I'll talk a
Yeah,
little bit
so
about this.
so y'all buy her book so that she'll keep sending them to me for free.
Yes, please buy this book. Please,
Not
please.
just buy her book.
Book. So I'll talk about this a little bit at the end, but this is, and I have not woven in my ends yet. So if
Oh,
any of
we
you
got
are
a
hanging,
sneak peek.
so this is the square.
Oh, love that.
And if you're familiar with the crocodile stitch, that's what's going to be in the middle
I'm going to be
here.
learning something all kinds of new.
Yes, yes. And so, okay, that's that. Okay. And then because the next time that we meet is going to be close, or it's going to be the Christmas time.
It's going to
And
be right at Christmas time.
yeah, it's going to be at Christmas. So just to get everybody into the Christmas spirit, the rest of the books are Christmas novellas that I've done. So the first one is Mistletoe Season.
And you're gonna
And
have to laugh at me because I have this book. This was the first book that you sent to me as an influencer.
oh
So I have a
wow,
hard copy of this book somewhere in my house. I
awesome.
cannot, for the life of me, find it. Tore my
Uh-oh.
house apart last night looking for it. I
Hmm.
thought I knew right where it was. I'm hoping I loaned it to someone or something. But
Uh-huh.
since I could not find my free copy, I went ahead and hopped onto Amazon and bought it on my Kindle last night.
Oh,
So I'm going
thank
to show you.
you. So here's the you're so good to me, Katie. Here is the
It was on
square for
sale,
that.
y'all. It was only $7 on Kindle.
Yeah, yeah,
Whoops,
a
where'd the
lot
cover
of my
go?
books are at reduced price. Because a lot of these books that we're doing now are backlist. Some of them are like, over 10 years old. But they're still, evergreen stories. So there we go. So here we have the square
It's
for
square
that.
too. Are there
Yeah,
four colors in that?
it's not exactly Christmas because, again, using these
Where's your
colors
fourth
here.
color? Help me out. Maybe it's the video. I see only two,
Oh yeah,
three.
well, the turquoise and the jade are pretty close.
Oh,
So
okay. No,
yeah,
I think
it
it's
might be.
this maybe that spring that I wasn't seeing. Now that you held it closer to the camera, I see
Yeah,
all
the
the
spring
colors.
green right here. Okay, I'll try to move them closer. So we've got mistletoe season, and then this is my very first, this is actually a hardcover, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
this one. Yeah,
Very
mine's
first
hardcover too.
Christmas novella. And so this one was published, oh my gosh, 2009. So it's been a while. And then this is the square that goes for this. And again, not exactly Christmas, but
I
the
love
book,
that, Kathy.
you
I
like
love
it?
it.
Oh,
Hmm.
good.
I
Good. I think
still
it
only
turned out
see
really
three
nice.
colors though. Is it two different shades of
Um,
gray?
it's different shades of gray. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think sometimes the
the,
camera can't tell the
yeah,
difference. I
yeah,
bet I
it's
could see it
hard.
in real life.
I'm finding that problem even just doing the videos, getting the right color saturation. But
Yeah.
yeah, so this is darker because of the tree, and we've got
Yeah. And
a shadow under there. Again, this was kind of, a little bit difficult to get full colors on, but not as
no, I like the
difficult.
two shades of gray. That was a good
Oh,
idea.
thank you. Not as difficult as this one. This one was kind of hard, but
I
this
have a different
one
cover. Do I have the wrong book? I have the
probably
wrong
not.
book.
They changed
Oh,
the
how
covers of
funny.
them
No, you're not
sometimes.
on this one. I have the wrong book. I bought the wrong
Oh,
book.
okay. Yeah, that's not me.
Are you?
How
I
dare
did.
you?
I
No.
bought. I've been buying the ones I didn't already own,
Hmm.
and I just, flipped through it. It said an Amish Second Christmas. I didn't even read the authors, so not
Well,
going to read this one
this
probably. At
is
least
the
not right
one.
now. That's funny. I've
This
got to
is
go get
the
that one.
this is a sequel. This one is a sequel to this book.
Oh,
So,
I lost you again. Hold on.
oh, okay.
It's my fault. I think the volume is on behind my back, and if I lean back, I bump it. What were you saying?
Oh, this is the sequel to this book.
Okay, well, I'm
So
gonna have to go
so
find that one.
Miriam's sister is in this book. And
Oh, good.
so we did this right after. So this was,
Well, and I've read that. I think I
mhm.
got the audiobook from my library or
Oh,
something
I
because I
should
read
show
that
you.
over Christmas.
So here's the square for that one.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah, thank you. And so I had to find a yellow in here. I think that was the color that I was having trouble with, and it's kind of the gold. But anyway, so this one, these other two
Okay.
are a little more Christmassy. And so
I
this
can't
one
believe I
is
bought the wrong book.
enjoy it anyway.
I'm sure.
Enjoy it
I'm sure I
anyway.
will. I'll
Yeah,
have to read it
yeah.
anyway. But now I'm going to go
So
find the right one.
this is an Amish
That one I
Christmas
have.
wedding. Yeah. And here's the square for that, a snowflake.
Ooh, I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, this one was fun to do.
Oh, the
It's a
Christmas squares are going to be fun.
yes. And now you know what? If I had this to do over, because it does have no, you probably can't see it. It does have some green in it. It's just a sage green, but there's also a brighter green. So if you have any evergreen colors, it would look really pretty with that. And then last but not least, we have an Amish Christmas bakery. Very delicious. This will be a good one to read, listen to with some hot cocoa and some cookies, Christmas cookies. And so here's this one.
I
And
like
this
that
one's a
one
little bit
too.
Christmassy. So there's the
Fun.
squares. And so in the middle of October, we're going to go ahead. I'll have all the videos up, the tutorials and everything for those. And you can get these books through my website. There's links to where you can buy them, online. Um, I don't, other than Behind Enemy Bylines, that one comes out next week. The rest of them you'll have to get through like Amazon and stuff because they're backlist, so they won't be in the stores unless you go to Ollie's. Ollie's is always carrying my books, so they always have the not latest ones, but that's not a bad thing because you get them at a really nice price point. Okay,
All right,
so
we got 3 minutes.
we've got 3 minutes. Okay.
3 minutes.
So I'm going to make this really quick. This book is set in Arkansas. That I've been setting a lot of my books in Arkansas since I moved back here. This is where I'm from. And it is about it's actually a bit of near history. So it starts in 1995 and then it jumps to 2006, I believe, or 2005. And it's basically during the newspaper wars. And these two were a couple. They broke up. She left for Georgia. This is Jade. This is Sebastian. He went back to his hometown, his small hometown, and owns a newspaper. And she works for a conglomerate, and she has to return to Arkansas. And she doesn't really realize this until she's given the assignment and try to convince him to sell the paper to the conglomerate. And guess what? He didn't want to do that. So that's the
Yeah.
main conflict. But there's also another outside conflict that has to do with foster care that's involved in this book, and it explains the reason why she actually, she broke up with him and why she left town. So Behind Enemy Bylines, it's in stores near you starting next Tuesday, which will obviously be a month later when you see this video, but you should still be able to
Yeah.
find it in stores then. So
By the time you see this video, it will be out
it will have been out and
for a
out.
few weeks.
Yep.
I haven't read it yet. I've been saving it because been trying to read these other books, and I knew we were going to read it for the RCal, so I haven't read it yet. So this will be the
Yeah.
first time I've read this one.
Ooh, well, I can't wait to hear what you think of it.
I'm excited about it,
I
especially
enjoyed writing this
because
book.
we just had our local paper went out of business about a year ago, maybe a little more than that.
Yeah.
So it'll be
I
interesting to
learned
see.
I learned a lot about the newspaper business, and when you read my books, you're not going to get an in-depth thing about anything about the books. It's all about character and the romance and all that kind of stuff. But in order to write this, I had to actually learn about acquisitions and business, and I also had to learn about the newspaper business.
Hmm,
And real quick, I know we're short on time, but the one
we're
thing
good.
I
We got a
learned,
minute and a half.
okay, one thing I learned that's super important is that newspapers are the glue of communities, whether it's a large city or a small city, but in particular small towns, because
Interesting.
that is where everybody got to know everybody's business. Now we see it online all the time, but you might get a story about, let's just say something dramatic, like
Mhm.
whoever was, let's say a fire happened. You would get that, but then you would also find out who's engaged, who got married, who had a baby, all the little things, where they were having the community meetings and all that stuff. And we're
Yeah.
losing that. We're losing that because of newspapers going out of business. And a lot of that has to do with the digital age. And so I'm not going to make a judgment on either of that because that's not what I'm here for. But it's interesting how progress leads us in a different direction at
Well, I've
times.
noticed, we have a lot of small businesses. I live in a fairly small town, and they struggle to advertise.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, I don't understand how people don't know we're here." And I'm like, "I do." Because when I moved to this small town, I didn't know what was going on anywhere, and there was no good
Mhm.
central place to find it out.
Right.
Facebook is great if Facebook shows it to you.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
big
And we could
if.
have a whole thing about that. But anyway, thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, so my timer said we had 42 seconds left, but obviously it lied. But thank you guys all so much for hanging out with us. Kathleen was thanking you guys. She was sorry to get cut off. This is going to be posted to my channel, but if you want to see the Granny Square tutorial videos, those are all on Kathleen Fuller's channel, which is Kathleen Fuller Books and Hooks. So all those videos will be over there. I'll have links to everything that you need in the description box down below. And I hope you're enjoying the RCal, and I can't wait to see you in a couple of months with part 4. Bye.